The opinions expressed on this program are solely those of its hosts, guests, or callers, and do not necessarily represent the opinions of WTBR-FM, its management, other producers, or sponsors.
Lemon, osmosis, carbonated, filtered, distilled. See, in trouble. Water.
Welcome to And So It Flows, your only show for H2O. I'm your super waterman, your ambassador for water. Super psyched to be here. I have a great guest, Jerry Smith from Action Sports, Scuba, second oldest scuba company or something, right here in Pittsfield. So he's with us.
In the abundance of water, the fool will get thirsty.
Super psyched about our show today. It's always about the H2O here. Nothing like it. We'll have some conversations a little bit later in the show with Jerry Smith, world famous scuba diver, world famous scuba trainer, and one of the founders of Action Sports on North Street. Location of one of the country's oldest scuba stores. So it's really kind of cool to have it right on North Street. And we got some water music coming your way and some water news and talk about some PFAS spilling going on in Maine for those Mainers up in that part of the world in western Maine. And first tune that we have up, it's a really good one, and this is a shout out to some of our incredible fans, and it goes like this. This is Astronaut in the Ocean by Masked Wolf.
No. What you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put that in slow motion. Yeah, I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. Ay, what you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put that in slow motion. Yeah, I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. She say that I'm cool. I'm like, yeah, that's true. I believe in G-O-D, don't believe it. She keep playing me dumb. I'm a player for fun. Y'all don't really know my mental. Let me give you the picture like stencil. Falling out in a drought. No flow, rain wasn't pouring down. See, that pain was all around. See, my mode was kinda lounge. Didn't know which way to turn. Flow was cool, but I still felt burned. Energy up, you can feel my surge. I'm everything like this purge. Let's just get this straight for a second. I'ma work, even if I don't get paid for progression. I'ma get it. Everything that I do is electric. I'ma keep it in motion, keep it moving like kinetic. Put it in a frame, better know I don't blame everything that I say. Man, I seen you deflate. Let me elevate. This ain't a prank. Have you walking on a plane? Both hands together, God, let me pray. I been going right around, call that relay. Pass the baton, back in the mall, swimming in the pool, can't drink them all. When a piece of this, a piece of mine, my piece of sign. Can you please read between the lines? My rhymes inclined to break yo. They say that I'm so fine. You could never match my grind. Please do not waste my time. What you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put that in slow motion. Yeah, I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. Ay, what you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put that in slow motion. Yeah, I feel like an astronaut in the ocean.
Everybody gets high sometimes, you know. What else can we do when we're feeling low? So take a deep breath and let it go. shouldn't be drowning on your own. And if you feel you're sinking, I will jump right over into cold, cold water for you. And although time may take us into different places, I will still be patient with you. And I hope you know I won't let go. I'll be your lifeline tonight. I won't let go. I'll be your lifeline tonight. 'Cause we all get lost sometimes, you know. It's how we learn and how we grow. And I wanna lay with you till I'm old. Oh, you shouldn't be fighting on your own. And if you feel you're sinking, I will jump right over into cold, cold water for you. And although time may take us into different places, I will still be patient with you. And I hope you know I won't let go. I won't let go. No, 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 no. I'll be your lifeline tonight. I won't let go. I'll be your lifeline tonight.
Come on, save me from a rocking boat. I just wanna stay afloat. I'm all alone. And I hope that someone's gonna take me home. Somewhere I can rest my soul. I need to know you won't let go.
I won't let go. No, 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 no. I'll be your lifeline tonight. I'll be your lifeline tonight. I won't let go. I won't let go.
Cold Water. That was Cold Water by Major Lazer, Justin Bieber, who happens to be a water believer, and then Mo. That's from the Cold Water album. And before that, we had Astronaut in the Ocean by Mass Wolf. And we'll be talking a little bit more about oceans and other bodies of water in a few minutes when we bring on Jerry Smith, famed scuba extraordinaire, scuba artist, I guess. Scuba person. And super excited to have him with us. Stay tuned. If about another 18 minutes, we'll have him back on. You're listening to And So It Flows, the only show for H2O here at WTBR 89.7 Pittsfield Community Radio. I want to let you know, our water-loving listeners, that the opinions expressed on this program are solely those of its hosts, guests, or callers, and do not necessarily represent the opinions of WTBR-FM, its management, or other producers or sponsors. Little news coming your way. This is out of Western Maine. PFAS is found in public drinking water used by thousands in central and western Maine. This is about 2 days old. Chemicals associated with serious illnesses have been discovered in the public drinking water systems of Skowhegan, Oakland, and Freiburg, serving more than 4,500 households and businesses in the latest development in what one expert calls a universal crisis. The public water supplies in Skowhegan and Oakland continue to deliver water to a combined 3,735 service connections and many more individual people. That's because the levels of so-called forever chemicals have not exceeded the temporary limit set by the Maine legislature for PFAS in drinking water, according to Maine Water Company, the public water utility for those towns. Maine Water announced the results on its website and will include the findings in its annual reports, but it was not required to notify Skowhegan and Oakland customers directly because the levels didn't exceed Maine's current enforceable drinking water standard of 20 parts PFAS per trillion parts of water. Even though the federal government has cautioned that people could see negative health effects from even lower concentrations of some specific compounds. That's something that Maine and Mainers want to get active on that. Access to water. Once it goes missing, then you realize how important it is and something to get involved about. It's happening not just in Maine, but all over the country, including the Berkshire County area where water has been tainted. And as stewards of that, and as a show host of a show that's dedicated to H2O, we're here so we can shed some light on this intentionally. Water makes up 75% of the world, if not more, and 75 to 80% of our bodies are made of water. So paying attention to the H2O that we ingest and bathe in and provide for Earth and all the rest, our puppies and all that, could very well be clean. So are we going to do it? We got some more water music coming your way. This is Santa Monica from the group Everclear. Santa Monica, it's kind of right on target with what human beings are dealing with right now. And you're listening to And So It Flows, the only show for H2O.
I am still living with your ghost, lonely and dreaming of the West Coast. I don't wanna be your downtime, I don't wanna be your stupid game. With my big black boots and an old suitcase, I do believe I'll find myself a new place. I don't wanna be the bad guy, I don't wanna do your sleepwalk dance anymore. I just wanna see some palm trees, I go and try and shake away this disease. We could live beside the ocean, leave the fire behind, swim out past the breakers,
feel so bad, I got a worried mind. I'm so lonesome all the time. Since I left my baby behind on Blue Bayou. Saving nickels, saving dimes, working till the sun don't shine, looking forward to happier times on Blue Bayou. I'm going back someday, come what may, to Blue Bayou, where the folks are fine and the world is mine on Blue Bayou, where those fishing boats with their sails afloat, if I could only see that familiar sunrise through sleepy eyes, how happy I'd be. Wanna see my baby again, wanna be with some of my friends, maybe I'll feel better again on Blue Bayou. Saving nickels, saving dimes, working till the sun don't shine, looking forward to happy times on Blue Bayou. I'm going back someday, come what may, to Blue Bayou, where the folks are fine and the world is mine on Blue Bayou, where those fishing boats with their sails afloat, if I could only see that familiar sunrise through sleepy eyes, how happy I'd be. Had that boy of mine by my side, the silver moon and the evening tide. Oh, some sweet day gonna take away this hurting inside. Will I never be blue? My dreams come true. I'm Blue Bayou.
You're listening to And So It Flows, the only show for H2O. That was Linda Ronstadt singing Blue Bayou from her Simple Dreams album. And Santa Monica was a song by Everclear from their Sparkle and Fade album. I'm Leslie Gabriel, your Super Waterman, ambassador for water. Really honored to be here, honored to have the opportunity to share the story of water, bring some water consciousness to Berkshire County. Not like there isn't already, there is quite a bit. And just honored to have the opportunity to bring it. Media, intentional water media. Media for the other 75%, or 80%, depending on how hydrated you decide to be. Have some really cool little water quote here. I like this one a lot. You never really know what's coming. A small wave or maybe a big one. All you can really do is hope that when it comes, you can surf over it instead of drown in its monstrosity. That's from Alicia Spear. And what I really like about this quote is it deals with the things that most of us have been dealing with, if not our entire lives, definitely over the last 2 and a bit years. Adversity, coping, enduring, freedom and hope and life and living and surfing and surf itself and trials and water and wave and waves. A lot in water. It connects to everything. It's the most intersectional thing ever invented. And is it even an invention? Not really sure, but Water Tower Town is a really cool tune. It's got a little bit of a twang to it, so this is a shout out to parts of Dalton and over by Hinsdale. Loving that. And this is a song called Water Tower Town, so say hey to our country spaces.
In a water tower town, everybody waves. Church doors are the only thing that's open on Sundays. Word travels fast, wheels turn slow. Yeah, working hard and living right is the only life we know. Friday night football is king, sweet tea goes good with anything. If fireflies come out when the sun goes down. Nobody eats till you say amen, and everybody knows your mom and them. You can see who loves who for miles around in a water tower town. Well, your friend's your friend, and your word's your word. And our pickup trucks, they ain't for looks, they're made for work. Corn grows high, crime stays low. There's little towns everywhere where everybody knows. Friday night football is king, sweet tea goes good with anything. And the girls come out when the sun goes down. Nobody eats till you say amen, and everybody knows your mom and them. You can see who loves who for miles around in a water tower town. Yeah, Friday night football is king, sweet tea goes good with anything. Peace and quiet makes such a beautiful sound. And nobody eats till you say amen, and everybody knows your mom and them. You can see who loves who from miles around in a water tower town. Yeah, in a water tower town.
Let's go surfing now, everybody's learning how. Come on a safari with me. Come on a safari with me. Early in the morning we'll be starting out. Some honeys will be coming along. We're loading up our woody with our boards inside and heading out singing our song. Come on baby, wait and see. Yes, I'm gonna take you surfing with me. Come on along, surf baby, wait and see. Yeah, I'm gonna take you surfing with me. Let's go surfing now, everybody's learning how. Come on a safari with me. Come on a with me. Come on to safari. They're angling in Laguna and Sarasoo. They're kicking out in Doheny too. I tell you, surfing's running wild, it's getting bigger every day, from Hawaii to the shores of Peru. Come on, baby, wait and see. Yes, I'm gonna take you surfing with me. Hold on, yes, baby, wait and see. Yes, I'm gonna take you surfing with me. Let's go surfing now. Everybody's learning how. Come on a safari with me. Come on a safari with me. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
I am unwritten, can't read my mind. I'm undefined. I'm just beginning, the pen's in my hand, ending unplanned. Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you could not find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken, live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins, the rest is still unwritten. Yeah. Oh, oh. I break tradition. Sometimes my tries are outside the line. Yeah, yeah. We've been conditioned to not make mistakes, but I can't live that way. No. Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you could not find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken, live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins.
That's Unwritten. Natasha Bedingfield off her Unwritten album. You're listening to And So It Flows, your only show for H2O. What I really like about that last song, Unwritten by Natasha, was speaking to how you could release your inhibitions by allowing yourself to be with the water. So it's like, if you know what it's like to jump into water when you've been like wanting to keep your hair dry, or jumping out into a pouring rain when you wanted to keep your clothing dry, there's a kind of surrender. There's an unwrittenness to that. There's a creativity to that. You're listening to And So It Flows, the only show for H2O. We're here at 89.7 WTBR-FM, Pittsfield Community Radio, and also podcast on Google, Amazon, Stitcher, and Google Podcasts. So you could listen up either Tuesday every 2 p.m. here in town on your radio, or you can actually podcast it. And So It Flows, the only show for H2O. Really psyched to have a superstar guest. His name is Jerry. Jerry, you want to say hi to our water-loving listeners?
Hi, water-loving listeners. As one.
So tell us a little bit, our listeners, a little bit about who you are, what you are up to. Give us a little bit of your background. Just let us know.
Okay, well, basically, let's start off with the store in Pittsfield. We opened that around 1980, and we've been in business ever since. We are, I believe, the second oldest scuba store in the United States, which is saying something for Pittsfield, Massachusetts.
That's amazing. That's amazing. When you actually said that to me a couple of weeks ago, the first time I simply walked in because it was kind of like, it's like a scuba store in Pittsfield. Pardon me for being a little bit of a slow learner there, but I would expect it by the Jersey Shore, Florida, Hawaii, maybe Cancun, but not here. So how did you start it, and what got you inspired with scuba?
Oh my gosh, you really want to know how I started? I started with $275, by the way. But anyhow, people were willing to invest in me, I guess, and that's how we got going. But I remember the first place that we had to rent to have a place to show our wares. I made a deal with the individual that owned the place to rent it by the week. Wow. And we somehow got going. After about 3 months, we started paying by the month. Anyway, we're very proud of what we do. We're very proud of the whole business. And through the years, a lot of people don't realize we're probably the ones that have kept the different lakes as clean as they are. And in that respect, I mean, you've got to realize that anything that gets thrown in the water doesn't disappear.
No.
Really? We actually get groups together, and the city of Pittsfield is great in cooperating with us. And they actually, one year, I remember they brought in a truck, and we actually filled up a pretty good-sized dump truck with tires and everything else that you could imagine happened to be in Onoda Lake. But every year, as a matter of fact, just about every time we get down there, we train in Onoda Lake mostly. And every time we get down, we ask people to pick up broken bottles, anything that's down there. We have a bag, pick it up, put it in the bag, and the department has actually put, and I've called them up several times, they've actually put extra barrels up there for us at various times, and it's worked out pretty good. We do this completely as a community service, and
wow.
We do quite a few things as a community service. I started the Berkshire County Dive team in 1990, and again, it's been a community service. Now it has gone from the county to the Sheriff's Department, and Sheriff Tom Bowler has done an excellent job of keeping it going, and we've, if not saved a few people, we've made a lot people happier than they would be otherwise. But
Yeah. I mean, I could expect that when you're doing it the county level, that's mostly first responders looking for everything from missing, tools of weapons, missing cars, missing bodies, and you could I can understand that and I would say that most of our listeners would wonder, wow, really? You wouldn't think, because most people think scuba and they think Jacques Cousteau. Now you have some of that too, and I'm not gonna. We'll bring that on in just a couple of minutes. But you really, for folks to not only find the boot or the tire or the glass bottle that's underneath the water and throw it in a dump truck, but also for the purpose of solving crimes, finding missing people, and putting closure on what could have been a bad situation.
Well, unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess unfortunately, I've had to go down, and being the only one for years in Berkshire County, I was the one that got called on any diving mishap. That's part of the reason I started the dive team. People ask me how many. Very frankly, I don't want to know. But I can tell you that there's a couple people that are walking around that would not be walking around.
Saved.
And everybody says to me, was it worth it? And my comment to them is, ask the two people that are still walking around that wouldn't be.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing.
I can't imagine anything else I would have rather done with my life. It's been fantastic. And I've done a lot of studies on basically hyperbaric oxygenation, and just a little heads up that real quick that some people don't know. Quite a few people out there have Lyme disease. According to all the studying I've done, there's only one cure that cures Lyme, and that's oxygen under pressure. You can either do it with scuba diving, or you can go in a chamber. I'm kind of getting away from where I was, but I had to put that in there.
Yeah, just thank you. And just so you know, the opinions expressed on this program are solely those of its hosts, guests, or callers, and do not necessarily represent the opinions of WTBR-FM, its management, or other producers or sponsors. And it's really important to know there are many ways to health, and it's also important to know that oxygen, water itself, plays a significant part. The sound of water plays a significant part. And I wanted to jump quickly to another part of your company and your expertise is going to distant lands and doing scuba diving in distant shores on the four corners of our big blue marble planet. So what has been, let's say, a couple of questions. What's the deepest dive you ever did for our listeners? And then number two, what's the most exotic, or what you would consider the most extraordinary experience you've been while scuba diving?
First of all, I'm going to answer the deepest dive real quick. Because of the fact that it creates a situation where people are trying to go deeper and deeper all the time, and somebody already has met their demise doing that. I'm not going to get into the deepest dive I've done. If you really want to know the deepest dive, I can tell you it's been well over 600 feet. But wow. You also got to realize that I was on submarines. I had to throw that in there. Go ahead.
That's great. And what's the most exotic location?
Oh, my gosh.
That you were doing a dive?
I'm so addicted to diving. I mean, I guess that's not a bad thing, but I am addicted. In 4 weeks, I'm going to be in Honduras, and wow. It's unbelievable. Can you possibly imagine petting a whale that is 40 feet long and having them roll their eyeball at you, which is pretty much bigger than half of your body? And they don't care. Down to being down in Florida with the manatees and having them roll into you, and you let them, they'll come over and you scratch their belly for them. They'll stay with you as long as you keep scratching. But, things you don't know whether you should or not, but I guess through the years we've decided that maybe we should leave them alone.
Yeah, I would bet it's important to, pay attention to your surroundings and, be respectful of the life that you happen to see, even if they're not human, and then just, take care. And, it's important. I'm sure you have a whole training aspect of your company as well. Like, you actually train individuals to become certified divers. During that period of time, how much before a person gets into the water, even if it's in a pool?
Well, they get in the water almost immediately, within 3 or 4 days sometimes.
How much of that initial training is simply safety? Just like preparation.
Well, the entire
and
course
safety.
is set up around safety. Even when you're teaching an instructor course, it's all around safety. If you look at our instructor trainer book, oh my gosh, the thing is huge in fine print, but the whole thing is about safety.
Mm-hmm. And for those of you who are just tuning in to And So It Flows, this is And So It Flows, the only show for H2O. We're at 89.7 WTBR-FM, Pittsfield Community Radio. And in the studio right now, I'm interviewing Jerry Smith from Action Sports Scuba Company, second oldest scuba company based in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. It's just incredible. It's like a little magical store. But in the meantime, when people are diving with you on your excursion diving, do they have to have any certification to go? Do they need to have their own equipment, or do you provide, how does that work?
Well, first of all, yes, you definitely have to. Certification takes approximately 30 hours, give or take 30 hours. It's classwork, pool work, and open water work. So there's 3 phases. But again, it all evolves around safety. But it's gotten a lot safer through the years, to a point where now the international agencies have opened up the scuba diving institution to 8-year-olds.
Wow.
So, yeah, we've got it down pretty safe now. But Action Sports and Travel conducts a minimum, I think, of 5 trips a year. And as I said, 4 weeks from now, we'll be in Roatan. So they literally go all over the world to some of the best dive sites there is just about any place. And it's pretty amazing.
I would bet, seeing people see things for the first time, the kind of excitement and real moments of absolute being present will show up in those kind of places where people are just completely, I wouldn't say overwhelmed, but they see a whole different perspective on life.
It's kind of interesting. When somebody first comes in the shop, they usually want to scuba dive, no question about that, but they say, well, I'm afraid of sharks. That's one of the first things they say. And about a couple months after they're diving, they come in and say, where can we find the sharks? So they all want to see sharks. It's amazing. I was just reading a little while ago on an internet, by the way, that a shark came over to a diver, nuzzled up against the diver, and he found out that it had a hook in its stomach.
Oh.
And he took the hook out, and the shark rubbed up against him and went away. They've got to have a brain of some kind. They've got to have that happen. And it's not the only one I've read about,
yeah.
But it's wild.
Yeah, the level of intelligence far surpasses what we give credit for. And that's now another quick question I had for you. You've been involved in any either accumulating footage, or were you ever part of any kind of documentary and or show that people were able to either find out about scuba diving or be part of an adventure in which you were playing part of? Like, were there any, any footage or documentaries?
Through the years, we've probably
movies?
taken thousands of footage of various underwater, and we've had showings at different places about that. We haven't done it in quite a while. We probably should get back into that, but yeah, it's fascinating down there. Especially, you think of a fish as a mindless creature, and believe me, they're not. I actually had a pet in Anoda Lake that was probably one of the biggest bass down there. That I was down there with a group one time, and I had a dozen people with me in the group, and this particular fish would come over to me. But it wouldn't bother anybody else. Come over to me. And the big reason was I'd go down there with some night crawlers and I'd feed him. So he knew me.
Yeah. Food is good. How do you gain entry into a fish's heart through their stomach?
Yeah.
So that's pretty amazing. Now, when you're training the local first responders or through the Berkshire County dive team, is that something that every first responder has to do, or is this an elective choice? And is it for firefighters and police officers and EMT, or is it just specifically geared towards...
If you want to be on the Berkshire County dive team, it's extensive training. It's not just 30 hours. It's extensive training. You may spend 200-300 hours training for that, including your EMT type thing. Each one of them has to know something about all that to be able to save somebody if they bring them out of the water. You don't just let them lay there. I mean,
yeah.
Come on. But,
is it open to everyone, or is it just open to
basically
folks who are...
The dive team pretty much is open to anybody on a fire department or police department, as far as I know. Now, you'd have to talk to them up there directly because I'm kind of out of it now, but I kind of backed away. I'm getting old now. But anyway, one of the things I did want to mention, and I think I mentioned to you earlier, one of the things that really bothers me is the fact that when I first came in, it's been, 40 years, a little over 40 years, the depth in Anoda Lake was from the surface to the so-called bottom, which is kind of interesting because you could get onto that surface and actually swim down in that stuff. It's that light. Anyway, it was, if I'm not mistaken now, 81 feet. We were out there within the past year, and it's now 67 feet. So that gives you an idea of
14 feet of silt, you're saying?
Did I do that right? It seems to me there was
81 feet to 67 feet. So that...
Well, 81 to 67.
That's 14 feet of silt that has built up.
Yeah, well, it's taken 40 years, but yeah, you got to realize that every body of water is nothing but a settling point. Everything washes in there, and if you don't try to take it out of there somehow, it just builds up into a swamp. And eventually, we probably won't see it. I probably won't. I know I won't see it, but eventually it's going to happen if you don't do something about it.
Well, unless there's extensive flow or dredging or some other way.
Well, little story about that. Yeah. The pond down in Laurel Lake. Okay. My mind just went. Laurel Lake used to have a visibility of about 50 feet. And the reason for that was they had a pipe just about the deepest part of Laurel Lake that drew water off for the mill when they made paper. Now that pipe rusted out through the years, and they replaced the pipe with another pipe just forward of the dam, and they raised it up about 3 feet. As soon as they put that in, it wasn't, I don't think it was 5 years, the visibility dropped from 50 feet down to 5 or 10.
Wow.
It was amazing difference.
Wow.
And I don't know what else to blame it on, other than that pipe was taking the silt out of the bottom of the lake.
Don't know.
It's the only thing I can figure.
water is a mystery in how it works, and when we put mechanisms inside that are human-made, that may or may not, overcompensate, undercompensate, or create even more issues. It may. I'm not fully aware, but I can see that you're seeing physical manifestations of it creating more of a being able to see problem.
Well, my theory is that everything settles to the bottom. So if you were to take a drain off the bottom first, even with a 6-inch pipe, and have that go into a settling pond, take it out over the dam and put into a settling pond, and be able to shut that settling pond down once in a while and take and dredge that out of there, it would gradually, it seems to me, they can clean the lake. We had occasion one time where we were out there with one of our divers that was on the dive team, and he happened to drop his equipment down at that point that was one of the deepest parts of the lake. And the dive team spent 2 weeks finding that gear, which is probably 20 pounds heavy on the bottom.
Wow.
But when we found it down 12 feet in the muck. 12 feet. We actually dove down, just kept knocking the stuff aside to get down at it. I had dropped over immediately. I had dropped over a weight, so I marked the spot. And we were within 10 feet of it, and it took us 2 weeks to find it.
Wow.
But it was 12 feet down in the muck. I know the leak.
Interesting place to end. In the muck. And you're listening to And So It Flows, the only show for H2O. We have just been interviewing Jerry Smith of Action Sports and Travel Scuba, second oldest scuba company in the country, based right here in Pittsfield. And for folks who want to find out more about Action Sports, what's your website?
ASTscuba.com.
ASTscuba.com on North Street. And again, thanks for being with us and sharing a little bit about the life of a scuba star right here in Pittsfield. We got another tune coming your way, and I think this is called, let's see, we got to get this up and running. I think it's, what's it called? Ocean Man. And this is from Ween off the Mollusk album.
Thanks for having me, Leslie.
You're very, very welcome. Thanks for being here. Not sure if this song is working, but we will see.
sat down on the patio to have a smoke. I didn't expect it to go where it goes, but it goes, and I know, yeah, I know that it flows. I am a sinner, you are an naughty beginner, tubing down the river. Little did I expect it. Get home, you're alone. Grab your cell phone, call me up. 'Cause we can Netflix and chill, or we can do better still. Get home, you're alone. Grab your cell phone, call me up. 'Cause we can Netflix and chill, or we can do better still. 'Cause I know, yeah, I know. I am a sinner, you are an naughty beginner, tubing down the river. I am a sinner, you are an naughty beginner, tubing down the river. Little did I expect it. Tonic, just the tonic that I wanted. Get home, you're alone. Smash yourself, phone. Get your swimsuit on. You know where to find me, baby.
That's Housatonic. From Don't End Party. Housatonic, the name of the band was Show House. You're listening to And So It Flows, the only show for H2O. Psyched to be here with you. Thanks again for tuning in to And So It Flows, the only show for H2O.
Lemon, osmosis, carbonated, filtered, distilled.
We got more water for you coming up next week. Stay in tune. Be part of the water conversation. You can listen to us on podcast, Google, Amazon Audible, Stitcher, and one other place that I keep on forgetting, Apple Music. Psyched to have you be with us, and love your H2O.
In the abundance of water, the fool will get thirsty.